So before doing this job, make sure that you've got some power steering oil and the tools you're gonna see in this video. So first step is to release the tension from the serpentine belt using a 50mm. We've got here the high pressure line, the line through which the fluid is pumped to the power steering rack in order to assist you when you turn the steering wheel. Then we've got here a ground, then the return line, which comes from a heat exchanger on the front. As you can see, this one comes from the power steering rack and this one comes back into the reservoir. The first thing you want to check is if the pulley spins freely, and it shouldn't have any slack. If the color of the fluid is very dark, then the power steering pump and the power steering rack got warmed up a lot faster in the past. Now on the back of the reservoir here we've got a C-clip. This is the clip. So to remove the reservoir we've got the E10 here. Let's disconnect the high pressure line with the 17mm. The high pressure line is out. Now if you have a look back here, you're gonna find two E10s which are pretty impossible to reach. So we're gonna need a T40 and you're gonna find a bolt in that position there. Make sure you've got a good grip on it. You definitely don't want to round up the thing there. I'm using a mirror to guide myself, and there is another bolt down here. Now to install the power steering pump, you gotta fasten it with 4 bolts. These T40 would go in the front, so you'll have to tie them through the holes of this pulley. It's quite easy. Now the challenge is gonna be for these E12s because you gotta tie them from the back and there is not much space around there. So basically here you've got the holes for these E12s and here you've got the holes for these T40. I'm gonna begin with this front upper bolt, the T40. And on the mirror you can see where the bolt should go. Now let's install these difficult ones back here. It's almost impossible to film as well. Okay, let's reconnect this ground here. Let's reconnect the high pressure line. It has to go very easy in there. Do not force it, otherwise you're gonna round up the threads. Because if this line leaks here, then the whole power steering pump is useless. And now this side of the reservoir will slide into this slot here. Something like that. Now on the connection point of the reservoir you're gonna find this O-ring, so place it right here. And place the C-clip. Reconnect the return line and tighten this front bolt. Okay, now the easy part is to add the fluid. Just fill up the reservoir, start the car, and at the beginning you might hear some strange sounds from the pump. But that's normal because there is going to be some air in the system and the pump will purge that. You're going to see air bubbles here. And it's also important that while you have the pump removed, do not turn the steering wheel, because in that way you will suck in some air. It's possible that you can suck in some air onto the power steering column or power steering rack. Now depends also what you want to do. If you want to do a power steering fluid flush, then you can open one of the lines from the power steering rack and all the fluid will come out. If you want to do the flush and remove that line from the power steering rack, turn also the steering wheel right and left, and in that way most of the fluid will come out. So in that situation it will take a lot of time until all the air is out of the system, so you might hear some strange sounds at the beginning. It's important that you keep the reservoir filled up all the time, so in that way it will always be fluid to replace the air from the system. Otherwise you're gonna suck air inside the system and it will take a lot longer. Okay guys, so that was it about the power steering pump on this car. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, it's free. Also go ahead and check out the join button if you want to, and I will see you in the next video.